Extreme health. There we go.
Okay. Just not giving me the notification, so. No. Come on. Can you make... Hold on. Can you make me mod or admin? Oh, that's what I was doing right now. Because you...
Do it too. I can't. You haven't commented or anything, so I can't make it. You need to comment.
Oh, I have a wrench. I hear playback someplace.
Where?
I don't know. Oh. There we go.
Check. Check, check. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Chickadee check.
Oh my gosh.
Check, check, check. I didn't turn the fan off, so it's probably crazy loud. Chickadee check.
Call it off.
Yes.
Let it go.
Let it go, bro.
All for nothing. I should have known. I made mistakes. Crashed and burned. So many chances. No time to learn.
Come
I
on.
need to find another way
Yes.
to make things right.
I'm getting to the point where I want to punch this computer.
I will be coming back.
Why don't you close some of those 38 tabs you got open?
I have
Do a little
3
reboot.
tabs
Do all
open.
your updates.
I have 3 tabs open.
You know.
So.
Do all that good stuff. 2's watching. I don't know who the 2 are.
Brian, Will,
Yes.
Rachel.
Yes. If you're kind of lurking around, why don't you jump in the chat there and let us know if you can hear us.
Jay.
Or not.
Set it off. Time to go. Engines running. We're on our own.
All right.
Running
Hopefully we won't run into this. I'm not even going to say it.
an endless road. Reaching for something we used to to know. If I had another chance, I'd make things right. I see the light behind your eyes is fading now.
All right. I know I'm forgetting somebody. Oh.
This may not be a good idea. I'm gonna try something.
What are you doing? I made a Facebook group and just sent everybody the link.
Cool.
And they can leave at any time. It's just my only way on Facebook to make sure everybody gets the notification.
Nice.
Yes. Hi. So. Oh, I forgot. Trying to remember everybody who watches.
Cool.
There we go. Prospero pointed out he didn't get the notification, but it could be delayed. Stupid YouTube. Same with me, and I'm apparently a mod or admin, and I didn't even get the notification.
Yeah.
So.
Cool. Well, I'm trying something, so we'll see what happens.
Okay. Kitty got my message though, so thank you.
Don't slam my table. You're gonna spill my delicious coffee.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So.
Delicious. I guess that only works through the app. All right.
Okay.
Well, never mind.
God, I need a haircut. I'm watching our video right now.
Yes.
Jeez. That's so bad.
Peaks. All right. So we got a couple people got the messages.
Yep.
2 people are watching right now. Very nice.
Okay.
Our stream health is good.
Huh.
Good. Your viewers are happy. Is that true? Are you happy? It may just be that I can just barely hear you. Turn your volume up. Turn it up. What?
Would you stop?
How about that? She said, nope, it was me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to start fiddling with stuff. Oh, hold on. Let me tweak it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, that does happen, so. Audio is synced. Very nice.
Good.
So,
Oh, yeah, I forgot to add.
add the people.
I'm trying. Okay.
So what did you create a whole other group?
I created a messenger group.
Ah, nice.
So,
Clever.
yeah.
You should add everyone to it. Just like when it says who to add, put like Facebook all. Send it to everybody. Looks like Steve got the link. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Very nice. So let's do the test. Everybody can hear us. Everybody can see us. Our pre-game warm-up or show warm-up or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, hold on. I almost forgot. There we go.
What did you forget?
I forgot the spiffy lights.
Oh, okay.
They had some ambiance. Bigfoot Willie, what's up, brother? Very nice. We actually switched microphones.
Yeah.
We have new mics. Hopefully better, faster, stronger mics than we had before. So, yeah. So, turning up the volume helps. Very nice. How far do you have the volume turned up?
To 11.
Well, I mean, I have most everything sort of kicked up, and a lot of it's been reduced. We try to reduce the noise because when we do the podcast and we have the air conditioner turned off and the fan turned off, it gets hot as fire in here, and I don't want to be hot. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's hot. Here we do this. Live from New Mexico. There we go. Testing the picture-in-picture. Boop.
Huh.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay.
Testing this. Transition. Boop. Nice. Cool. Well, I'm not going to mess around with it too much because it looks like we're streaming pretty good. We're rocking about 30 frames per second. I did drop that. It was set for like 60 frames per second. I figured that might be a little bit much. So, I don't know. We'll see. So, a couple more people get here. We will get going. See, the lights do make a difference. Very nice. I don't know if I can turn them up. Maybe I can make them blink faster. Change the transition. Strobe.
I can hear them.
What?
The lights.
No, you can't. Shh.
Okay.
Can't. I'll do a smooth transition. You won't even know. Oh, there we go. Nice, faster.
All right.
Smooth operator. Smooth operator. I don't think this thing is doing a damn thing.
Yeah. I don't either.
I'm gonna sneeze. Off. I don't know where the controller went. Maybe the battery is dead.
Yeah. All right.
Nice. Weird.
Huh.
What?
Nothing.
There we go.
Okay.
That should look a lot better now.
Yeah.
All active and such, going through all the different colors. Very nice.
All right.
Let's make it smooth.
You ready to start?
No. Make it smooth. That doesn't really do anything at all, I guess. Ooh, we can make them flash.
They're already flashing.
Pew, 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 pew. No, that was a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go with it. Ah, very nice. Brian's here. Hello, hello. Hopefully everybody can hear and or see us. We have the confirmation. So, very nice. Ready?
Yes.
All right. So, all right. So we're going to go ahead and start the podcast. So if you're listening for the very first time, thank you very much. And it should be fun. We're going to have a good time, whether you like it or not. So how about that? Yeah, working good. Sweet. Very nice. All right. So let's begin. Audio is a little quiet. Turn it up. How about that? I can't turn it up any louder on my end, so I'm going to need you to turn your volume up just a touch. Maybe I can. Maybe I can bring it up just a little bit. See, because part of it may be just that we have new microphones. Is it the voice that's a little quiet?
Your voice has less bass in it.
Well, I turned all that stuff off.
Okay.
Because I don't really need the bass because, you know, full-grown man and all, but we might be able to make it a little louder loud, actually.
Because I think mine has bass right now.
It does. You want no bass? I can take some bass away. I figure you don't want to be like a little squeaky girl. So, you be a little squeaky girl. There.
You do want dinner tonight.
Stop. Don't smack. Don't do that. I don't want to be accused of anything. There. Does that sound any better? Or any worse?
I have no... Yeah, that's better.
Okay. See, because we have different microphones, and the way these are much more expensive microphones than the ones we were using before. See, because look, it's definitely volume dependent. Are you looking? I said look, and you just sitting there.
Yeah.
It's definitely volume. So if you get right up on it, it definitely does something.
Well, I am.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Jeez.
Start the podcast.
Hey, all right, you don't tell me what to do.
Uh-huh.
All right, so what time is it? Time to
Podcast
start.
time.
I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Peanut butter. I like peanut butter. I like peanut butter. You're listening to the CreepGeeks podcast. Peanut butter. I like peanut butter. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/CheapGeek. So it begins again. Welcome back to the CreepGeeks podcast. This is episode number 95.
Ouija board closes school, Bigfoot and Werewolf sightings, and the Human Origin Conference.
Yeah. All right, so we're back with the CreepGeeks podcast. This is episode number 95. Yeah, so it's good to see everybody, hear everybody, feel everybody, coming to you live from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, out in the dirt, I guess we can call it. So we're doing a podcast live from New Mexico, as we do every Sunday. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, thank you very much appreciate you tuning in and listening. We do really appreciate that. And if you're listening on iTunes or iHeartRadio or SoundCloud or any of those places, if you have an opportunity, you should maybe drop down and give us a little rating. Like I said before, in every podcast episode, we accept only the finest quality 3 to 5 star reviews. Yeah. Just anywhere you listen to the podcast, if you want to do a little review, that'd be great. It'd really help us out. If you are watching live right now to do, as we do every Sunday, to kind of see how we do what we do. Very much appreciated as well. Comments are there for your pleasure, so you can comment as much as you want. And while we do the show, we do try to interact with people that are interacting with us live, so we will call them out and answer questions and that sort of thing. It's kind of a mixed bag of a show. And for those of you who don't know and are tuning in for the very first time, what kind of podcast is this?
This is an offbeat news podcast where we explore the strange, the stupid, paranormal, and tech topics circulating the web.
That's right. We like the weird stuff, so that's what we'd like to talk about. The weird stuff, the funny stuff, the crazy stuff, UFO stuff, Bigfoot stuff. All sorts of weird stuff is the stuff that we enjoy, and we think it's pretty fun to talk about, so that's why we come back and do this every Sunday. I'm Greg.
I'm Omi.
And this is the CreepGeeks podcast. Yes. So thank you very much for tuning in. And we do have a couple different things to talk about real quick. First thing is, if you'd like to call the show and leave a message, or maybe if you have a funny story or a weird story or just something that's pretty strange in general, you can certainly do that. We have a telephone number for you to call. That number is
575-208-4025.
That's right. And if you call during the show and it rings right here on my desk, I may or may not answer it. So I'm not trying to scare you off so you don't want to call in, but if you do, just keep in mind. Now, if I answer the phone and you go, I don't want to talk to you, well, then just, hey, that's cool. Well, I'll just hang up the phone. Yeah. So it kind of is what it is. And that's a Roswell area code for all you, people that think that kind of thing is kind of cool, I guess. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. So there you go. And if you want to listen to us, we're everywhere. So I don't know how that actually happened, but yeah, iTunes, podcasts, anywhere you can listen to a podcast, RSS feeds, whatever, we're here for you.
Yeah.
The CreepGeeks YouTube channel is also here for you to kind of click and listen and do all that sort of thing. And you can get there, you can actually go to our website as well and see the audio podcast. And the video podcast plays there too at CreepGeeks.com. And remember, the geek is plural because there's two of us.
Yes.
So CreepGeeks. And just in case you can't spell, CREEP and then geeks. All right. That's about all I got. You got any news or announcements you want to talk about before we get to our other news and announcements?
No, I was trying to multitask. And
All right, multitasking is good. So, speaking of which, did you know,
yeah.
as we begin our podcast talking about our interesting random factoid, because we do like to have those when we start, just a random interesting type factoid that maybe you knew or didn't know, but we like to put it out there and we'll ask, hey, do you know? And you can post it in the comments and we will look to see exactly how smart you are. Or not. See, it's the good thing about this podcast. It's organic. You can participate or not. It's okay.
Yeah.
We love you anyway. Just the fact that you're listening right now or watching right now is super cool. And since it's Sunday, we also like to do a couple different things. One of the things that we do that we think is a tradition that a lot of people should do if they haven't done it in a long time, maybe bring it back, is we have a Sunday dinner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And, one day we're going to have our Sunday dinner while we're doing the podcast. And just so you know, somebody took us up on that offer to give us a call, and I missed the call. It was a call. So, sorry, man. I missed the call. Maybe you can leave a voicemail, or maybe I got to turn it up so I can actually hear it. That might be part of it, too. So, but, yeah, let me do that. I apologize. I already busted us right there.
Yep. Brian would like to ask if we're going to do a special broadcast on Halloween. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe not.
So.
You have to ask yourself. You feel lucky, punk. Hey, let's see if this actually works or not. Turn the volume up, set the controls for the heart of the sun. Hello?
Call from Cannonville. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Ban. Hello.
Hey.
What's going on,
Can you
man?
hear me on your show?
Yeah. Turn your volume
man.
down, sir, because it may create an echo. You're like, hey, did you know you left a cat outside?
Sorry.
Is that Will?
Yeah. What's going on, brother?
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to be on your show. My bad.
No, you're
I
good.
just wanted to say I love your show, man.
Ah, very nice. Very much appreciated.
That's all I got. Love you, too. And Stephanie loves you, too.
Sweet. Love you guys.
Love you, Will. Love you guys.
All right, buddy.
All
I'll
right.
let you get back to it.
All right, man. See you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
See, guys, you too can call the show and
Very
tell us
nice.
how much you love us.
Like, hello? Who is this? Sweet.
See?
See, there you go. As a test, it actually works. You can call in live to the show. Super
Yeah.
cool. Just as a funny aside there, we do forums and stuff like that where we look at different things. Everybody does. You go to like Facebook or anywhere else like that, right? Mm-hmm. And all these different forums and junk that are out there. And I kind of pay attention to the podcaster forums and stuff like that because I think it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I came across a post where somebody was like, how do you add video to your podcast? And I want to take live callers and stuff. And people were like, yeah, you could do that. And I was like, well, hey, how much would that cost? And they were like $8,000. Oh, you got to have all this stuff. And I'm like, what? That's not true. So,
Yeah.
because we talked about this earlier. I'm like, I don't understand why people seem to think that it costs so much money to do this. And I guess a big part of it is if you don't know how to do it or you don't know what's going on, then the cost, of course, is going to raise itself exponentially because you have to call in somebody else who's an expert. Now, we are by no means experts in podcasting, but we certainly kind of have an idea of what we're doing. And we're no experts when it comes to like the weird, wacky, the paranormal stuff either. We just like it.
Yeah.
And we talk about it, and we try to, maybe add a different opinion or a reasonably intelligent opinion about what we're talking about. So that's just kind of is what it is. So if you have a lofty expectation that we are scientific experts, hey, man, thanks. But
Yeah.
you're probably going to be slightly disappointed. But we have a good time doing what we do, and going back to what we were going to talk about before we got the phone call, and I actually hung up on the person that called in, and they called back. Very nice. Very much appreciated, Mr. Will. Random factoids. Yep. Are you ready?
And your brother Will was into Bigfoot long before I was.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
I mean, it's kind of one of those things. Because, what was it, The Legend of Foggy Bottom or Soggy Bottom Creek? I can't remember because I always get kind of confused.
Foggy.
There's a movie that came out in the 70s, man, and that movie scared the shit out of me. Seriously. About Bigfoot. And they went to go try to find Bigfoot. I think it was Foggy Bottom. Maybe it was Soggy Bottom. Is Soggy Bottom, is that from a movie? Soggy Bottom Boys?
that just sounds wrong. I
No,
don't know.
it's the movie that they did, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh,
Which is really like Homer's Iliad.
yes.
Yeah, and I think they were called the Soggy Bottom Boys. So, anyway. But yeah, man, Bigfoot's been a thing. And if you grew up in the mountains or if you live in the mountains, you know, when you're out there in the woods, man, you're like, you know, I'm not alone. Or you just get that feeling sometimes. And where my brother lives in North Carolina, man, ancient mountains. So, what are you laughing at?
Jay providing commentary.
Why is he providing commentary? Does he know he's not getting paid for that?
Yeah, but it's.
All right.
Did it have Chevy Chase in it?
No.
Just kidding.
I'm in Bigfoot because I take a size 14 shoe. Hey, man, we got that in common. There you go. You can high five like if he was sitting here.
Yes.
There you go. Little fist thing. You didn't do the explosion thing, did you? Don't do that.
No.
Okay, good.
I also don't do the octopus, which our friend Dave and our friend Sherry taught
No,
us.
it's not the octopus. It's the squid.
Squid,
And
yes.
that actually came from Lauren.
Oh.
Lauren started the squid. Yeah, I was in the car and she was in the back seat, and I was trying to hand her something, and all I felt was that.
Yeah.
She didn't know what I was doing. She's like, "Well, what are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm trying to give you." So anyway, there. Cool. Hey, Marley's here. Hello.
Yes.
So anyway, let's go back to the random factoids that I keep alluding to starting, and these are going to be 8 snackable cereal facts that every cereal addict knows or needs to know. Ready?
Cereal facts.
Cereal facts, because see, we don't normally eat cereal. We don't normally eat bread too much unless Omi makes it.
Yeah.
But I seen you brought home some cereal yesterday, and I like cereal every once in a while. You know, mainly it's the milk. It's not good for you. I mean, it's good for you when you're a kid, but when you're an adult, you know, it's not as good. So anyway, we're gonna have some because you know, hey, just in case you were curious, March 7th is actually National Cereal Day.
Oh.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 8 cereal facts that you may or may not know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, according to this, and I have heard this before, and there was a movie based around this,
Oh, yeah.
cereal was invented to stunt your sex drive. Seriously. John Harvey Kellogg was convinced that a healthy sex drive was evil and resulted in unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Like bad posture, fickleness, bashfulness, boldness, and even fondness for spicy foods. There you go. So, if you have unhealthy habits, bad posture, fickleness, bashfulness, boldness, or a fondness for spicy food, you're a deviant.
So,
Oh, pervert.
liking spicy food is a bad habit, first off.
absolutely.
And second, it makes you a deviant.
That's what makes you a pervert. Yep.
Oh,
So
God.
Mr. John Harvey Kellogg was going to basically go and, you know, he needed to create something to help stunt the sex drive, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, and at the root of healthy sex drives is what he thought was like poor eating habits. So, you know, meat, seasoned food, you know, brought up the bad thoughts. So his solution was to eat dull food.
Oh, God.
So he invented the dullest of foods, cornflakes. Right? Those
Yeah.
little orangey just flakes of just nothing. So, you know, anyway, his brother Will got involved, and basically after his brother Will got involved,
Yeah.
they said, hey, man, this food's too dull. Let's add some sugar to it. Let's sell it. Let's make lots of money so you can meet pretty women and we can have lots of wanton sex. So it's pretty much paraphrasing it, but, you know, they kind of had a little bit of a thing going back and forth, and John Harvey wanted nothing to do with it, and Will said fine or something along those lines, and he opened up the Kellogg Company and started selling the cornflakes that we know
Yeah.
and love and eat before and after sex. There you go.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because modern cereal, granted cornflakes is so plain, but modern cereal, it's all about like colors and advertising and bright flashy stuff to catch your attention, which kind of goes back to like some of the ones, like the ones I like remind me of Raver Club,
Yeah.
you know, which is all about, you know, wanton sex. So anyways,
Gross. Wanton.
wanton,
Not wanting.
wonton,
Yeah.
wonton.
So did you know that Snap, Crackle, and Pop, those Rice Krispie little elves, had a brother?
I thought this was part of the whole Mandela effect, though.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
It's not Mandela.
Or-
It's Mandela.
Mandela, yeah.
See, you're causing the Mandela effect right
I
now.
know, right?
What?
I can't pronounce nothing today.
Yeah, he was a spaceman, and he was meant to exude the power of whole grain rice.
Really?
Yeah, his name was Pow, but he was more of a so he was soon
The
dropped.
power of whole grain rice.
That's right, the power of whole grain rice, because that's what that is. Rice Krispies is basically rice.
Yeah.
right? Whole grain rice that's been sort of puffed. And so you had snap, crackle, pop, and pow.
Aw.
Yeah, the pow was more of a pfft, and that was the end of him.
Okay.
So he was soon dropped from the cereal slogan.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it's kind of like Three Stooges, and the Marx Brothers, where you had like, I don't know. Three Stooges was like Larry, Moe, and Curly. Sometimes Shemp, sometimes Joe. Yeah. And Pow for Rice Krispies. So there you go. All right. So with the cereal slogans,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're gonna match the slogan
Okay.
to the cereal.
Okay.
You think you're gonna be good at this?
Yeah.
All right. No, I don't think so.
Okay, try.
Okay, so the slogan for... Okay, here's the first slogan. Stays crunchy even in milk. Is that Captain Crunch, Wheaties, Fruit Loops, Kicks, Life, or Lucky Charms?
Darn.
Nope, not a choice.
I don't know.
Okay, if I
Okay,
could
next one.
If I could make like a buzzing noise.
You have a bell.
Oh, yeah, I do have a bell.
Yeah, you do.
That just seems like an awful lot of work.
All right, so what's the next one? Give me the next one.
Okay, so that one was actually Captain Crunch. All right, the next slogan is they're magically delicious.
Lucky Charms.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right, Breakfast of Champions.
Wheaties.
Yep.
Yep.
Those things are gross, too. Follow my nose, it always knows. If it's flavors you seek, follow my beak.
Fruit Loops?
Fruit Loops.
Okay.
Very nice. He likes it. This was Life cereal. Remember Mikey Likes It? Nobody really liked
okay.
Life. Life was kind of weird.
Yeah, that stuff was...
Yeah, and here's one. Kid tested, mother approved.
I know this one, because it's one of my favorites. Kicks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very
Berry
nice.
Kicks was that's my jam.
Yeah.
So, love
yeah.
that cereal.
Super tasty.
Yeah.
I like how people are guessing. Like Lucky Charms, Wheaties, Fruit Loops, Life, Kicks. Good job, everybody.
See it, all y'all.
All you latchkey kids growing up eating Marley likes frosted mini wheats. That's a certain kind of weirdo that likes the mini wheats.
You like frosted mini wheats.
I know, I do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. My mom she still does every once in a while, but she makes like she takes like bran flakes and adds like different fruits and stuff to it. It actually tastes pretty good. It's pretty healthy cereal, almond slices and junk. And you think with my oldest daughter, she really liked them. She called them brown flakes because she was a little kid.
Yeah.
And so she would eat grandma's cereal. She had grandma had like apricots and sliced almonds and different things to add to it. So it actually tasted really good. You don't need a lot, but
Yeah.
yeah. And so that was her thing. She was like, I want the brown flakes. And she'd get all mad about it. And it's just the brown flakes, man. So, and then she kind of grew into Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So,
Yeah.
kind of a strange thing. Usually you'd think it'd be the other way around. So, yeah. And I agree wholeheartedly with the comment that we have in the comment section from Jessica, who says that grape nuts are gravel.
Yeah, she loves all cereal except for grape nuts.
That's right.
Absolute gravel.
They are. It's like eating little rocks, little pebbles.
Seriously, if I encounter another pothole here in New Mexico, just pour some grape nuts and some milk.
Oh, here we go. We got a call.
Oh.
Nope.
Oh,
It
hung
went
up.
straight to a missed call.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Peanut butter crunch.
That's pretty tasty. I do like peanut butter crunch. I haven't had that in a long time.
Yeah.
Trix. Trix was like Fruit Loops, but round.
Trix's flavor changed.
Yeah,
That's
all
when
the
I
flavors
stopped.
kind of changed.
Yeah.
And I think when they really started kicking with the whole
Red
high
number
fructose corn
Yeah.
syrup. So,
5. So,
I don't know.
I don't know. That's an interesting fact, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, those were a bunch of, there's supposed to be 8 of them, but I didn't do 8 of them. We just did 2 so far.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more and we're going to
Oh, let's
Move
let's skip.
Hold on. Here's a good one. Here's interesting factoid number 5 about
That's
cereals.
the one I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frankenberry. Well, go ahead then.
Frankenberry cereal used to turn your poop red.
Gross.
Yeah, that's a grabber of a headline. According to a 1972 paper in the journal Pediatrics, everyone's favorite strawberry-flavored cereal was the same color coming in as well as going out. You can thank the cereal's synthetic dye, which cannot be broken down or absorbed by the body. The condition was benign, but not the nickname it spawned. Frankenberry stool.
Frankenberry stool.
Now, not to be outdone, a sister cereal, Blueberry, turned stool green, much like those Whoppers that came out a few years ago, the black ones.
Yeah.
They were turning people's poo green. While Smurfberry Crunch cereal turns your American Standard blue.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Blue poop.
Yes. Luckily, all 3 dyes were eventually switched out. But that's just, like, if that happened to me, I would just call 911. I would just, I don't know what's happening to me.
It's like my poop is blue.
Help.
You know, it depends on where you call, but the nurses that man those phones are pretty smart.
Yeah.
And they would ask you questions like, have you drank a lot of Kool-Aid? You know, they start asking, you know, if you had lots of stuff with dye in it. And they're pretty on top of that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Ooh, let's skip them and go down to number 7.
that's where I'm at.
Okay. So there have been some bizarre cereals along the way, and the reason we're reading this one is because 2 of these my mom bought religiously, and it was just cereal makers, they come up with all sorts of ideas, whether the ideas flop or not. Sometimes it takes a while for them to flop. Eventually those cereals are taken off the shelves. Some of these are still on the market, some of them aren't. Things like Sir Grapefellow,
Gross.
Kellogg's OKs, I remember those. King Vitamin, I swear that stuff you might as well have taken it out of a box and used it as styrofoam packing, but my mom loved that stuff. Post Steak O's, I don't know what that is. Mr. Wonderful Surprise, Nutcases,
Gross.
Crunchy Logs, Strawberry Colon Cleanse, Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs. No. Green Cereal and Ham, I remember this April Fool's prank because it actually came out. Freakies.
Freakies wasn't that bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Snots.
No, I don't know about all that.
Moonstones.
Hey, and then here's Brian's favorite.
Yeah.
Corn flukes.
Corn flukes.
Yep, made with real fish.
And then Wackies.
Wackies.
Yeah.
Gross.
But yeah, I remember Kellogg's OKs. They were kind of like a super crunchy, super tight version of Honey O's.
Yeah.
And the O's were different. So they weren't too bad. So.
Well, there you go. That's 8 snackable cereal facts that every cereal addict needs to know. And by 8, we just did like 5. So yeah, there you go. Kind of, you know.
Yes, and I would
kind of being on top of things.
I would definitely try a cereal that tastes like steak. Jay, I agree.
Yeah, I wouldn't try one that tastes like fish.
No.
They'd be like new crunchy fish stickos, and it's like a little crust, you know, sweet crunchy ball on the outside and a little blob of fish on the inside.
Oh no.
Yeah. Ugh. That sound delicious?
Yuck.
Yes, it's super tasty, I'm sure.
Yes, you're making me shudder.
Nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to go and take a second and talk about paranormal and weird news. But I think what we're going to do is take a second and take a break, and you're listening to CreepGeeks Pod. I keep saying it.
Yep.
CreepGeeks Podcast, and we'll be right back. And usually when we take these little breaks, it's just a break for me to take a drink of coffee. And I think I'm going to sneeze, so that's probably part of it. So
right.
only being professional, so just kind of keeping everybody in an inference, full disclosure. Anyway. Super tasty. What? Ready? We're going back into it. We're not doing the commercial now. Okay. Yeah. And we're back. That's right. Talking about stuff. Okay, so anyway, we're kind of coming back into the CreepGeeks podcast because I want to kind of get something set up here. And that's so you can see what we're talking about. So, I seen this article I thought was pretty interesting, so I'm going to share it with you guys. What do you think? Should we share with them?
Yes.
All right. And there you go. All right, so this is an article that came from Mysterious Universe where it says Ouija board closes Peruvian school for a week.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. So I'm like, man, we got to talk about this.
Yeah.
So there you go. You guys can scroll along with us, right? Mm-hmm. So here we go. I thought this was kind of creepy. Whoops, it went too far. There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, come on. All right. So this is by Paul Seberg, and this was a couple days ago, September 28th, because what's today, 30th? If you're listening to this is the podcast is recorded on the 30th of September. Okay. So students at a school in Peru decided to fool around with a Ouija board, and after at least 27 of them became ill, it forced the school officials to close down for a week.
Oh, my God.
So, I mean, that's a lot. 27 people, right?
But they also reported something similar years ago. A small African school had like almost 30 kids go home because a curse got cast at the school. So,
Man.
yeah. That was like years ago. So I kind of feel it's weird that some of these... Pepper.
Hello?
Sorry, Pepper just chipped in.
That's a weird, random bark. It's all right. We're just
Yeah.
talking about Ouija boards.
She does not like Ouija boards, folks. So,
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to keep talking about it. So, I don't know why she's
yeah.
grumbling
But
like that. She usually sleeps.
I find it interesting that these
What?
smaller countries...
Shut up. I'm trying to the dog's like, I'm going to bark. She's still growling.
I know.
What are you growling at? Knock it off. It's cool, man. We're good. So 27 people, 27 of these studi, that's plural for students, got sick in Peru. And what were we saying?
It's just interesting. Some of these smaller countries, you know, certain small countries in Africa, this place in Peru. I heard about something similar happening in another European small country where they take this stuff seriously.
Yeah. Well,
And-
most places do.
Yeah.
To a certain degree.
Japan, which is not really a small country. They
But,
had
yeah, they're full of folklore.
but they had some sort of folklorish.
demons. Well, that's
you know,
all of them, right? That's like Japan,
legend
Korea,
happen.
all of
Yeah,
China.
but they closed down a small private school. Same thing. And if this were to happen in America, everybody would just, you know,
What is her
Pepper,
What
I
is
will
her
put you in
problem?
a haunted school.
So,
If this were to happen in America, though, I'm like, how would Americans respond? How would the town or city that school is in?
well, they would
respond?
lie and they would say, "Oh, we have to do some kind of cleanup, some kind of abatement, like mold abatement, or
Oh,
scrub the school down for norovirus or something like that." They would definitely not say, "We're closing it down because of Ouija board." You know, because teachers began to hear strange cries and they saw their students crawling on the floor as if suffering from muscle spasms.
oh,
I wonder if is it possible that it's a Ouija board, or is it possible that it's food sickness?
well, that's another thing. It mentioned someplace.
See, look.
in here. Yeah.
This certainly sounds scary, especially if it happened right after lunch on a day where the cafeteria served mystery tacos.
Man, Peru's got the best school lunches. I want mystery tacos.
I don't. Not if it's going to keep me crawling around on the floor. Spasming the pains is food sickness. Is it a Ouija board? Or see, that's
Yeah.
just it, though. Was it just a case of food sickness? Right? Mm-hmm. Or did the Ouija board cause it?
Okay.
Because that kind of reminds us of what we binged the other day. American Vandal Season 2.
Yeah.
The Turd Burglar. Okay, so and since I brought it up, I need to finish it. On Netflix, there's a series called American Vandal.
And the first one I loved.
Yeah, the first one, and this is kind of centered around. It's two high school like documentary filmmakers. These
Kids.
AV nerds.
Yeah.
And they're doing a documentary. And supposedly or allegedly how it goes is that they did their documentary and they called it American Vandal, right? And then later on for the second season, Netflix seen their documentary and basically gave them a bunch of money, said create another one. But the first series is pretty funny. It's kind of inappropriate. It's about a high schooler or who got caught spray painting phallic symbols on everything, right?
Yeah.
And it was called American Vandal. And then the second season came out, which is sort of the same thing, American Vandal, where they talk, basically, the gist of it is that a bunch of terrible things happening to the school and people in the school based around poo-poo.
Yeah.
And the person that was doing it identified themselves as the turd burglar.
Oh, gosh.
It sounds lame, but it's actually really good. And so you might as well binge watch all of them. So it's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
So maybe Omi will put a link in there somewhere. Or not. It's okay. But it's pretty funny. So, I mean, okay, that's what. So what is it? Is it the mystery tacos, or is it the Ouija board, or both? Because it supposedly happened on September 17th at a college, which is basically in Europe. College is high school, and university is college, just in case you're wondering. It said they had an investigation by the teachers that led to a teen girl, the daughter of a teacher, who was the owner of the Ouija board, and a book of black magic found with it.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
After playing this satanic game, the school girls began to basically present excessive shouts and aggressiveness. And there's actually a video.
Oh.
It says, at this point, and there's like a little quote, it says, video here.
Yeah.
Right? Teachers tried to calm the girls until their parents were called and arrived. And that basically the causes for the given behavior and treatments varied according to what they believed in. Some parents feared that the adolescents were possessed by a diabolical force.
Yeah.
Right? And, they took them to the local church so they can kind of get that taken care of, where they stayed until the diabolical force left.
Yeah.
Which is
But
funny.
then the rational explanation, other parents believed it was a case of mass hysteria.
Yeah.
Since this does appear to be an all gender, all girls school, so mass hysteria is actually more common when people of all the same gender are in one location.
Well, that's what they say, but
So, yeah.
I think that's a little bit of that's kind of BS.
Yeah.
Because that's more of a crowd mentality.
Yeah.
Where one person freaks out and then another person freaks out. And so
But those parents, looking for that more rational, solution, they actually took their kids to doctors and took them into a hospital for psychological treatment.
Yeah.
So...
well, it's an all-girls school.
Which is what I'm kind of leaning towards with this particular thing. And to give merit to that crowd mentality, the mass hysteria, if you do a search of Ouija on the website for the school, it brings up similar stories dating all the way back to 2010. So there's at least three or so instances
2010, 2011, 2012.
where this stuff has happened.
Well, this has been, there's a warning from the Ministry of Health. Mm-hmm. And this is, it's in Peru. I wonder if that video is going to play. Let's try it.
Yeah. Huh.
You're probably not going to be able to hear anything. And that's my way of saying you're not going to be able to hear anything. But, so we will do a play-by-play. Okay, I will translate. Blah, 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 blah. So basically, it's the whenever you see anything weird in, like, South American countries and Peru and places down there, a bunch of people holding them down, talking to them. I don't know. I don't know what I expected. I don't know if I expected to see anything crazy or not, but... yeah. Okay. Anyway, it's enough of that. Not a whole lot going on there. Kind of weird.
Chris Sparrow brought up an interesting thing in our comments. He just read a book called The Inheritor's Powder about the surge of arsenic poisonings in the UK in the 1830s and 1840s.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the children's symptoms are similar, but so are a lot of other illnesses. And I wanted to point out to him, yes, that's true. Arsenic and rye poisoning specifically cause a lot of interesting hysteria or symptoms.
Yeah.
They've linked rye and grain poisoning to the Salem witch hysteria. So,
yeah, but there was more going on with that.
That's true. It was a combination.
Well, that's what they tried to put it to, but I think it was a little bit deeper than that.
Yeah.
It became more political than anything.
Yeah.
And, okay, so here's some helpful warnings for you that came from this article. Experts warn that the parents of the teens should be watching for any abnormalities such as lack of appetite, poor school performance, lack of personal hygiene, or other indicative signs of teenagers. That's like all of them.
Yeah,
I mean, you just described like every teenager goes through this, where they just like,
yeah,
I'm not hungry, I don't care, school sucks, I'm not gonna take a shower, I'm just disenfranchised, whatever, man. It's like every sullen teenager out there you just described.
yeah. So
but
what you're saying is every teenager is susceptible to the power of Ouija. Yeah.
So, but they don't really say if it was the Ouija board or not, or if they even did it. So, I mean...
And did they do anything afterward when they came to that conclusion? Like, did they...
Yeah, they put a warning out.
A warning?
Ministry of Health.
Yeah, but did anybody walk
it
through
says
the halls with some
playing the
sage
Ouija
or something?
Can induce suicidal behavior.
Yeah.
As well as hysteria, schizophrenia, and psychotic disorders.
Did they have a holy person or spiritual person walk through the school? I mean, that's
Did they
my
smudge?
idea.
Did they... I don't know. It's Peru, man. Who knows?
That's what I think when I think of, did they do something about it?
So yeah, 27 people got sick, and they closed it for like a week.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're just being overcautious. So.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Kind of strange, because I kind of hope for a little bit more, but with a title like that where it says a Ouija board, that's like, yeah, we gotta see what's going on, and that was it. That's it for that. So you just gotta take their word for it, I suppose. So. There. Bam. All right, so moving back into it again. So the Ouija board thing, could have been worse. But see, now we get into some Bigfoot sightings that happened, and a possible werewolf sighting that happened, or didn't happen. It depends if you want to believe, but whatever. We're going to talk about it and find out. And it's kind of a weird thing because
instead of
what I've noticed is that in certain times of the year, as in like fall, it is fall now, getting into October, and all that sort of stuff. Certain places that get super duper cold, kind of see more, or at least, and I haven't checked, because there's a way you can check, but it just, from my memory, places that start getting pretty cold start to have more sightings as the winter starts to roll in, and which would make sense, because if there actually is an animal out there, maybe an ape, a member of the primate, right? Who knows? Whatever. Like if Bigfoot is whatever, and they live out in the woods, wouldn't it make sense to migrate?
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want to be up there where, like in the Rocky Mountains or somewhere like in Colorado, where it's going to snow like 8 feet and be super cold, especially if I lived outside. I would migrate. I'd go down to where it starts to get warm. And some of these places, it's almost like a transitory path where they got to sort of transit to get further down, right? Because, the closer you get down towards the bottom of the continent there, the warmer it gets. Yeah. So, but yeah, this basically came, it says Michigan can't even say it. Michigan.
Yep.
There we go. Fisherman takes Bigfoot picture.
So instead of casting it to the screen, I'm going to go ahead and put the link in the comments for everyone.
Why?
Because this needs them to look at the picture. I mean, you can still cast it if you want.
Of course I'm going to cast it. That's so they can look at it without clicking away from the show.
And see, I'm a little more critical about this. Yes, I've noticed that same trend that it seems to be certain seasons. There's an increase in Bigfoot and Sasquatch sightings. But I look at it from a very skeptical perspective, which is, as soon as September hits, that's when costumes are available in stores. So in some of these colder places, you can get away with setting up a very elaborate hoax in a Bigfoot costume because you're literally not causing somebody to die of heat exhaustion. So,
well, I mean, a ghillie suit can look an awful lot like this. And you can get a ghillie suit to go out and go hunting, and it deliberately breaks up your form.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I like the picture, though. Like Bigfoot all hanging out in the woods, right?
Yeah.
So, there you go. What do you guys think? And I like this. The shadowy figure then reportedly ran off into the woods.
Ew.
So, I mean, here's the thing. If this guy actually took this picture,
yeah,
right, even though it's a shadowy figure and all that stuff, that's a pretty good picture. Because, I mean, if you look at this, if we didn't say anything at all about this, and you look at this picture, does that look like a freaking bear?
Yes.
Hell no, it doesn't look like a bear. Come on. Do you think a bear has a head like that?
Actually,
it obviously looks like some kind of like ape or something.
To me, it looks like a costume.
Well, okay, I mean, he can look like a costume, but what I'm trying to say is that the shape is obviously not a bear. You know?
Okay.
There's no disputing that looks like some kind of something. Humanoid, right? And see, that's just it. It was about 6 foot tall, because the guy who goes by the name of Jack, he was the one, right? 6 foot tall and had a human-like figure, okay? Now, if I'm out there in the middle of nowhere and I see this, even if it's a dude, like dressed up, you know, kind of it's going to scare the crap out of me. I'm not hanging around. Are you?
No, but then again,
but that
if I saw
obviously is not a freaking bear. We've seen enough bears.
Yeah.
Bears don't have shoulders the way a human does.
And he also doesn't have Sasquatch shoulders. Those shoulders are too narrow.
How do we know if those shoulders are too narrow or not?
Because I am still under the impression that Sasquatches have more of a broad shoulder. Thems look like lady shoulders.
It could be turning towards the camera.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
But you know, it could be lady shoulders, but you just said, yeah, that looks like a bear. So I'm sorry. No, it does not look like a bear.
Well, when I first scrolled to it, I'm like, oh.
You're like, that's a bear? No freaking way, man.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Now, I'm not saying it's Bigfoot or anything like that, but if I seen something that looked like that, to me, there'd be no doubt in my mind. If I seen this and it wandered off or ran off or turned and just disappeared, I would know in my heart that's not a freaking bear.
Yeah.
You know, that's not a gazelle, that's not a wolf, that's not anything other than either A, Bigfoot, B, some dude wearing a ghillie suit maybe out there hunting, or C, something that shouldn't be out in the woods with you anyway.
So, there's a
Or D, it's a fake. You know, whatever though, man. I mean, but see, I'm more looking towards the shape. You know, if you seen this out in the woods, there'd be no doubt in your head that it's something, right?
Yeah, it's definitely something.
Yeah. Is it a bear? No. Hell no. Come on, look at it. Bears don't have heads like that. Bears look like fat dogs.
Yeah, but you know what? This is still potato quality footage.
It's always going to be potato quality footage.
So depending on, like you were saying, well, he could be turning. This could be a bear in the middle of turning, because I find it very interesting that the foreground of this is it's not very in focus. It's somewhat in focus. But then as you move towards the center and farther away, it's just completely garbled.
That's exactly how photography works.
I know, but this guy didn't make any... It almost seems intentional.
Well,
So, or...
I don't know.
And not necessarily intentional, but this guy didn't take a picture. And why aren't there more? Why can't we see all of them? Maybe in one of those frames, we could patch something together, and
Possible.
I would feel more believable.
Or is it, you know,
And then-
or is it the fact that this dude maybe took 3 or 4 shit pictures, and this is the best of what he's got?
And you know what? If I have something like this ever happen to me, I am going to submit all those crap pictures.
Yeah.
Why? Because I want to show legitimacy to what I experienced.
Okay.
And it's said in this article, it is not clear why the eyewitness didn't take a video instead of a series of photographs. So he did take a series of photographs. Now, if this was done on a smartphone, I give this guy credit, and I understand why he submitted photos. Video on smartphones is not good on a lot of the more accessible, more affordable
Well, okay, here's the
smartphones.
thing. And
Yeah.
here's and I'm not trying to play devil's advocate about this picture.
Yeah.
Necessarily, but I do think that it's so easy for the cop out to happen. Oh, you took a shitty picture, you know, or why are these always bad? Why are these? And you know, I used to be the same way. Yes, it's a bad picture. It's a picture. If you were out there in the woods and you seen this thing looking at you, and you go whipping up your phone and you start taking pictures, are you going to go, oh, I'm too close, let me adjust my focus to the background? Oh, no, I should be taking video. Maybe, but the average person doesn't do that. We talk to people all the time that they don't even think about video. They don't do anything with their phones but snap the occasional picture and then roll on.
Yeah.
You know, everybody we know is into photography and videography. I mean, the first thing I would do would be straight up video.
Yeah.
You know, because that way you're capturing 60 frames per second instead of every time you press the button.
Shutter button, yeah.
Yeah, and this guy's a fisherman, and it's like, it's unclear why he didn't do video. We can sit here and look at this picture, because if I seen this, what if you only seen this for like 2 seconds? And what's easier to access? The default setting for most phones these days, Android and Apple alike, is the camera is right there.
Yeah.
You can hold that button down and it pops the camera right up. It doesn't default to video unless that's the last place you used it. And you know what's going to happen, right? If this guy took this picture and he's like, let me pop this camera up, I'm going to grab a picture real quick, the very first thing that happened is it probably was facing the wrong way. It was probably facing him. Like it happens to me. You press the button and it brings up and you're looking at your stupid face. And it always freaks me out. But, I used to get like so angry, like, man, if he just would have focused. I mean, that's a hard picture, and it's obviously not the entire picture, because unless it is, if it is the entire picture, it was taken in a square format like Instagram.
Yeah, which
in Instagram, you lose almost all your camera tools.
But also, devil's advocate, again, other side, if it's a square format picture, the guy knows enough to take a square image. So
he doesn't have any. If it's a square format, and last thing he used it was on Instagram.
Well, mine defaults back. So.
Well, okay, but not everybody does that. Maybe this guy only takes pictures and put it on Instagram. I think it's really easy for us who are into video, and audio, and photography to sit here and dump on people that take these crappy pictures. It is a shit picture, straight up. It's garbage. And if I took that picture, I'd be really mad. Like, man, I had Bigfoot, and this is what happened. But let's play devil's advocate again. What happens if I'm out in the woods, right, and I'm rocking my 6D Mark II, got a nice lens on there, 24-70 or 70-200, right, f2.8L, and I've been taking pictures of like birds off in the distance, which that would let me get that shot without actually having to make a whole lot of adjustment to the camera or the lens. And I shot this amazingly crystal clear picture of Bigfoot because I'm out there.
Yeah.
And I'm shooting stuff off in the distance, and my camera is set up for it. And got the autofocus fired off and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And boom, I shot this picture, and it was the clearest picture of Bigfoot you ever seen.
You would automatically be
a fraud. I'd be discredited. It's a fake. It's a fraud.
Photography expert. Suddenly you become a photography expert.
Yeah, nobody takes pictures that good. How did you take a picture that good? Well, I set everything up and I just happened to get it. Yeah, what? So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
True.
But I'm telling you, if I seen this shadow, if I was cruising through the woods, and I seen this freaking shadow, it would scare the hell out of me.
But as someone who has had shadows creep up on her.
Okay, you're telling me that wouldn't scare you?
It would. But I would stop for a moment. I'd collect myself, which I have.
Get behind me, Satan. I mean, I have too, but it would be obvious that, that this is not a bear. And I like how they say it's like, okay, because a person says, Jack, I went back later on and camped there just to see if I got lucky and get more pictures.
Yeah.
And he believes it was juvenile Bigfoot mainly because it's relatively short height. And he says it's not clear why he didn't take video. Right? But see, here's the thing. Last month, another man in Michigan encountered a similar creature.
Okay.
But he says it had a pet with him, which I thought was kind of weird. Or maybe, who knows, right?
Yeah.
But see, what I didn't like was, it's 6 foot tall, human-like, and it had a high-pitched growl. And we made eye contact, but both froze in our tracks.
Yeah.
That thing growled at me, man. And you did the whole bear thing. Get away, bear. I'm bigger than you. And I'm like, because see, if these things are out there, they've been known to throw rocks, like big old softball-sized rocks.
And stumps. Yeah.
Yeah, I would never, as a Bigfoot, if I was personally a Bigfoot, want to run up on you and beat the crap out of you. I would just throw a big-ass rock at you, and that's about the end of you right there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And a lot of apes and primates do that. You see them, whenever something weird comes in their area or their territory. Yeah. Like a predator, you see them, they throw anything they can. Poop, rocks, branches, sticks, bananas. Yeah. I don't know.
Jess brings up a great point to support what you were saying earlier. She doesn't think about her camera if she has shadows creeping. So.
And you're forgetting one thing.
What?
We've been out in the woods where the hair on the back of your neck stands straight up because something is eyeballing you.
Yeah.
And the only time it ever happens, when you get that weirded out, you get that whole sort of hair standing up on the back of your neck, is when subconsciously that whatever it is that's looking at you can kill you.
Yeah.
See, when you get that feeling, it's like that now you're not the apex predator. Something is there that can take you out. And then that's when the adrenaline starts to fire up and the whole fight and flight,
But
fight or flight and all that stuff. So if this guy sees that,
as someone who fancies himself an outdoor enthusiast, I'm nowhere near avid outdoor or, adventure or whatever. I do consider myself an outdoor enthusiast. I have been alone on the trails. I have been in situations where I thought I saw a shadow or I thought I saw something moving and that hair stood up and it was a bear. It was a mountain lion. It was a mountain goat. It was when we first moved here, and in 1 month
I'm not scared of no damn goats.
I took 17 different pictures of 17 different rattlesnakes I encountered our first month here. And they were all big monsters too. But that, in almost all those situations, I had the opportunity to collect myself. Even though, especially with the rattlesnakes, I was in imminent danger. Because I had, myself and
I think that's
dogs.
just different.
Okay.
Because we've been out and seen bears. I've seen bears too. I've seen snakes too, and all that stuff. And they don't invoke the same response.
For me, okay, there's a place here in New Mexico that does make my Bigfoot radar go off, and it's called the Jimenez Mountains. My biggest problem with the Jimenez Mountains, though, is my Bigfoot radar and my mountain lion radar are identical. So sometimes when I get creeped out there, it could be either. So, because mountain lions move so quick, it's so scary. So,
but but it's different though. It's a different kind of thing.
Okay.
Because if you've ever been out, I don't know how to describe it, man. Because, if I seen a bear, I wouldn't necessarily freak out. Because I've seen bears before. My brother has seen bears before. You get a little weirded out. And you're like, okay, we need to be cool and get out of here. Right? Snakes, unless you step on them, like, okay, let's just be cool and get out of here.
Yeah.
Relatively calm all the way around when it comes to all this kind of thing. But man, you get that, there's a spider sense that goes off. And when you get that, it's just different. So maybe some people don't have that. I mean, I think some people do. I don't know. It just kind of goes to one of those things. It's a different kind of weirdness, man.
Yeah.
You can get that, okay, I'm being looked at by something. Then the hair stands up on the, it's different. Got to go.
Okay.
So, I don't know. What do you guys think in the comments? I feel like I'm going to sneeze, man.
Jessica mentioned, that she wouldn't be thinking about her camera. She lives in the woods, which is also scary. I think I've seen a post from her about that and how spooky that can be.
The woods are creepy.
Yeah. She'd be running to her house from her car. Just run, So,
yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
And that fight or flight response, especially with something in the cryptid world, for me, when it's the Bigfoot and mountain lion vibe for myself, it goes straight to, okay, not necessarily flight, but, round everybody up and get everybody safe. It's interesting when we're in areas where there's a lot of Thunderbird legend.
Yeah. And the other one, the Terror Torn.
Yeah. I'm very stand your ground, which is funny because those things are supposedly huge and could probably eat me. Like,
you mean so if like this
I'm a
big
little
20-foot bird come whipping at you, you're just like, I'm going to fight it?
No, that'd be awesome.
I don't think so. It'd be just like it'd be just like every movie you see. You're like, oh, here it comes, and poof, they're gone.
But there's certain other things where I'm like, okay, I'm standing my ground. So.
Well, I mean, some things you have to. Like a bear, you want to walk backwards, or you have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Either retreat without showing, like, weakness, or make yourself bigger than the bear, and hopefully it's more scared of you.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think it really sort of depends. I think that if you have an animal out there, like, this would be the same as running across a gorilla. Mm-hmm. That's about the only thing I can think of. So if you ran across a gorilla in the woods, he's not worried about you, like, being bigger than him or running off, because they're, I think, a little bit more intelligent than like a bear, that kind of thing.
I know how dangerous a gorilla could be, so I would
think Bigfoot could be just as dangerous, if even more dangerous,
Yeah.
But either way, I thought it was kind of a cool picture. I'm like, and it just kind of brought up the whole, whether it's real or not.
Yeah.
It's a picture that kind of looks like, if you've seen that, there would be no doubt in your mind that either A, it's a big gorilla, primate, something like that. It's obviously not a bear, elk, gazelle, mountain lion, anything like that. It's obviously bipedal. It's obviously something. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That's all I want to say about that.
Well,
So,
there's another article about another sighting, and this is a North Carolina woman claims she had a werewolf sighting.
yeah.
Yes, and this took place in Winston-Salem,
There you
North
go.
Carolina. A woman in Carolina says she saw...
I don't know why I said that.
Yeah.
Winston-Salem's got not a lot going on.
Yeah,
Like, there
it's
you go. Like it's some kind of big tourist place or
But
something.
it's interesting that NC, or North Carolina, is turning into, if you do study and follow Sasquatch
Well,
or
you know why?
Bigfoot, it's turning into a little Bigfoot
I figured this
hotbed.
out.
Yeah?
Here's the reason why Western North Carolina is becoming more and more popular with all of this stuff.
Yeah.
You got weirdos that have been moving in for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
right, from other places, right?
Yeah.
And so that's okay. The other thing is like 4G, LTE, the phone service is getting way better out there.
Yeah.
So you take strangers from other places, they move in, they start living, and you bring in this sort of 4G where you can connect and get on the internet and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that there you go, you have a lot more sightings. Because if you went back to like the 70s and the way that place is in general, right?
Yeah.
And we're talking like from basically the border of Knoxville, Tennessee, all the way back to Hickory, North Carolina. If you seen stuff like this, you didn't tell anybody. You only told your close friends, or it was a spooky story that you told your family at night when you were goofing around. It wasn't like you would never tell the newspaper, And sure, some people do. They call in or whatever, and they'd say, "Oh, I seen this." But for the most part, people didn't say that kind of stuff. They didn't say, they wouldn't necessarily share it because they were pretty kept to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They were kind of a closed-off people, just in general. This is the way the mountains are, man. It's like a little distrustful of strangers. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think that the influx has changed the sort of community around a little bit. Got 4G LTE, and it's kind of cool now, right? All these ghost shows, paranormal shows, all this aliens and all that stuff. It's all super cool now.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going on like a decade of that, an easy decade, since like maybe 2005, where it got super popular. What?
Nothing.
Why you keep looking at me all weird?
I wasn't. I'm just reading the comments.
Oh.
So.
Why? Why are you looking at me? You kind of creeped me out a little bit. Something behind me? You would let me know if something's behind me, right?
Yes.
So
Brian said that it looks like the ceiling behind us is basically falling apart or something.
Is he talking about the wall?
Yeah, I think.
Well, my double-sided sticky tape, which is not of good quality, because we stuck those acoustic tiles up there. I didn't want to rip the wall off, so I have to repaint it when we move or anything like that. It started to let go.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what it is.
okay.
So, there you go. Thanks for pointing it out, Brian. Appreciate it. Looks like your wall's falling apart. Yeah, thanks, man. Just go with it. Because the audio podcast, they didn't need to know we're over here in some ramshackle setup. Well, no, I mean, this whole thing was I stuck them up on the wall to see if they were effective or not, and honestly, they're really not that effective. And I'm glad I didn't use really good double-sided tape or glue them to the wall or whatever, even nail them, because there'd be a bunch of holes in there for this garbage that you can buy.
Yeah.
So for acoustic sound deadening, there's a couple things you can do. Don't buy the cheap ones because they're exactly that. They're cheap.
Yeah.
We'd have been better off. I mean, we could have done the same job with moving blankets.
Oh.
Yeah, or acoustic sound curtains. But those are money too. This whole thing was
I like the curtains idea. So.
Yeah, but I mean, they're pretty pricey.
Okay, so getting back to this werewolf in North Carolina, 26-year-old T.I. told Cryptozoology News on Thursday.
T.I.
Yeah. Told Crypto News, basically, she was driving her son to her mother's house when she encountered the creature in 2017. There's a lot of woods out there. I was about to get out of my car. Looking to the right, I saw what looked like a wolf, but much taller and white or yellowish eyes. The unusual canine, she added, howled when the eyewitness got out of the car. I grabbed my son and ran to my mother's door. As I looked back, the animal seemed gone, but while knocking on the door, I looked back and noticed something black running away. I can tell he was mad. The woman described the animal as a 6-foot tall black werewolf with white and yellow eyes and claims it stood there for at least 3 minutes. Now, the Dogman is a cryptid reported to live in northwestern quadrant of Michigan's Lower Peninsula.
Yeah.
Although there's been other sightings documented in other places, such as Wisconsin. This unproven creature was first spotted in 1887 by 2 lumberjacks, who described it as having a human body and a dog head. Now, a Michigan woman also had a similar incident back in 2017.
Yeah.
And then in 2016, a Canadian businessman said he spotted a creature that looked like a wolf walking upright while driving through the woods in Wisconsin. I think we actually talked about that one. Yeah. So there's been all these reports in the general Midwesty area, but this is in North Carolina. So, yeah. I don't know. She was with her kid, so I understand not whipping out the phone to do some picture taking.
Yeah.
I'd be more worried about, getting the kids safely inside the mom's house. The behavior of this werewolf is a little weird to me. Like,
why? Because it didn't just like do the movie thing and just rip the people to pieces?
No, not necessarily. That it did something that is outside of the normal for wolves, which is the howling as soon as she opened the door. The car door, which it howled as soon as she opened the car door. If this was a wolf or an animal, as soon as she opens that car door, which is that loud or plasticky click noise as it opens a metal and plastic door, I would be more inclined to believe it made a noise or a bark as opposed to a howl, maybe like startling it, because wolves don't howl when they're startled. So that part kind of, Now, the fact that it ran away, I make sense, I can believe that, or at least backed up. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these sightings, I usually go on the negative end of the disbelief, basically.
Yeah.
This one, I agree that she probably saw something, and it was probably terrifying. So, yeah.
I don't know.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm reading the comments. Something's behind you. I saw it too. It's creepy. It's behind you. Yeah.
So.
Well, it's very nice, isn't it? Yes. It's kind of weird though when you see stuff like that, and I don't know, because see the whole dogman thing,
Yeah.
and the werewolf thing, that seems like that sort of travels as well, because there's been reports of it. It was what was it, South Carolina, Michigan, Chicago, with the whole Mothman thing. It seems like, I don't know, it's becoming more transitory, man. Like the coyotes and stuff, they started out, they weren't anywhere close to being the East Coast. Now they're all over the East Coast.
Yeah.
So who knows? So I like people trying to help me out, let me know there's something creepy behind me. It's creepy. It's behind you.
Yeah.
Whatever. Kind of weird. What do you think about that?
Oh, okay.
It's a werewolf.
Werewolves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you believe or don't believe in that kind of thing, it's certainly up to you. Hey, you've got your own opinion about things, and it looks like Canadians don't believe Bigfoot. According to this.
I saw this. I had to throw this in here, but basically, a British Columbia court tosses a lawsuit that was aimed at proving the existence of Bigfoot. So, a British Columbia judge has ruled that the province's court system will not be used to help a self-described Sasquatch tracker prove the existence of Bigfoot. Todd Standing filed a lawsuit against...
Holy crap, it's that Todd Standing guy.
Yeah. So, he filed a lawsuit against the province last year, arguing that the province was not taking seriously his evidence that the mythical creature exists. He said he could prove the existence of Sasquatches way beyond a reasonable doubt, with help in part from police officers, engineers, doctors, and other professionals who had claimed to have seen Sasquatch-like creatures firsthand. Now, they actually had one hearing, and that was held last month, on whether or not this whole case should go to trial. The lawyers for the province argued that the lawsuit was lacking an air of reality and made claims that could not be proven and should not proceed further. So after taking a few weeks to think about it, the judge standing court for this case dismissed the whole lawsuit.
As well he should.
Yeah. And he did state that Canadian courts have no authority to conduct scientific investigations in order or order the government to investigate specific scientific claims. So I can see that reasoning.
Well, I mean,
So, yeah.
okay. And part of it is this Todd Standing guy. I mean, yes, he tries to do. I don't want to disparage the guy too much, but it seems like he does a whole lot of self-promotion.
Yeah.
Maybe not as much as other people. Like Stephen Greer, that guy just gets on my nerves. He just underneath my skin. He's a lot of self-promoting. But I've seen his movie. He's Standing as a movie where he brought like professionals out there, and you know, and when he says that he can prove it, no, he can't. You know, he has some really remarkable video, but all of it could be recreated, or it could have been created for that movie. You know what I mean? So, okay. I mean, you'd have to go with obvious proof to make it happen, because otherwise you're like, you know, he's basically asking the Canadian government to make a decision based off of no proof at all, right?
Yeah.
No scientific claims, no real proof, no nothing to say, okay, we're going to take a stand and say, hey, this myth is now real.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I like the way they said, we got no authority to conduct scientific investigations, and that's a nice way of saying we're not going to get involved with this sort of thing. So, and what was he trying to do anyway? What was the point of what he was trying to do?
I think to compel the local law enforcement, originally, because this is going back over a year when I first saw something about this, he was trying to compel local authorities to assist him in these investigations.
Okay, so, but I mean, overall, his goal was to make this province,
Yeah.
was this British Columbia?
Basically
to say, yes, Bigfoot's real.
Actually, kind of worse. He wanted to use tax dollars, city and, province tax dollars, to allow him to, I'm going to section off this area of woods. I need police help to section off this area of woods.
Okay,
and
see,
do
who
an
does this guy think he is?
investigation.
Okay, and he
So-
has pictures of Sasquatch's face, and he's going to the government to prove it exists. And one of the things it says, we chat with Todd Standing about why he believes the BC government is in dereliction of duty for not recognizing his efforts and evidence.
Yeah. He wanted
Come on.
He wanted to be able to call Fish and Game or local authorities and be like, I'm doing a Bigfoot investigation. I need you to clear out this park. So, yeah.
This makes me like this guy even less. Because when I first watched the movie, I think it...
I need to see this movie because I
Well,
don't remember
we
the
watched it
footage.
together, and it was
Oh.
garbage. You had no interest in it. You're like, okay, whatever.
All right.
So, because remember he did the whole kind of like a Les Stroud thing where he's like running around like leaping up hills and jumping over and doing stuff and being all like Survivor Man.
Maybe.
Now he does have some pretty interesting footage in there,
Yeah.
and some people have picked it apart, some people haven't. But at the end of the day, man, he's out there trying to do something. But I just don't get the whole trustworthy feeling from this cat at all. I got that radar, and when you send my BS radar goes off, it's really hard to turn that off.
Yeah. That's true.
It's like, okay, this person's full of crap, and that's what I get from this dude. Mm-hmm. And I can understand being frustrated, but to try to force the government into doing what he needs them to do because he thinks it's no. I don't know.
All right.
Nope. I wonder if Prospero has heard about this. Holy moly.
Yeah. Did you see that? Size 23 shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
They're still talking about what's going on in the background. What's happening in the background? I don't understand. Ceiling.
yeah.
You can't even see the ceiling. You talking about the wall?
No, they're talking about the ceiling.
Where? You can't see. There's no ceiling up here. So.
Okay. So, this next article, I threw it in real quick only because I like the person it's about.
Yeah.
Leland Melvin, he is a NASA astronaut. he's awesome because, you know, like when astronauts go to get their photos done, it's usually like this prestigious thing and they're all professional. Well, he had his 2 dogs with him for his, and that's what he's known for. He's that photo that's gone viral on Twitter and Reddit even, where it's him and 2 golden retrievers. He's the best. But Mr. Melvin states that he saw something unusual when he was spending time on the space shuttle Atlantis.
Really?
Yes. So he tweeted that he saw something curved, organic looking, floating out of the payload bay during his time on the space shuttle Atlantis. He told NASA about it, but the agency told him that what he was seeing was not an extraterrestrial, but a piece of ice. So this started with UFO Sightings Daily. They tweeted him in August-ish, and they said, "What's your outlook about the existence of intelligent alien life living in our solar system? Have you ever witnessed a UFO? Please share with us." And he tweeted back, "I have not seen one in space or on the ground, but thought I saw something organic/alien, like floating out of the payload bay." He mentions another astronaut, Astro Comrade is that person's Twitter handle, and I called the ground to ask what it could be, and they were told it was ice that had broken off of the Freon hoses. It was translucent, curved, and organic looking, and then he shares the alien emoji. So I thought that was really cool that he saw something. Granted, yes, it could have been ice, like an ice buildup.
Like, what is that? Aliens.
But the fact that he was willing to entertain the idea that this is something very unusual that he did not understand, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Gross. I do like that hashtag or the handle, Twitter handle, Astro Comrade.
Yeah. And his Twitter is AstroFlow, so that's
Astro
cool.
Flow and
Yeah.
Astro Comrade.
Well, I mean, he's a very cool guy. Like I said,
Yeah.
he had his portrait, his official NASA portrait done with his 2 dogs. He played college football at University of Richmond, and he
cool.
was drafted by the Detroit Lions. So he's an all-around cool guy.
Very nice.
And he may have seen aliens, which makes him cooler. So.
And they're like, oh, it's just ice.
Yeah. Oh, Prospero brought up in the comments here on our podcast show, interesting thing, because I guess he's from Canada's. So, British Columbia barely.
Yeah, I think he's from Vancouver.
Yeah, British Columbia barely has enough money to pay for park rangers in all British Columbia parks, so they aren't going to pay for some guy searching for Bigfoot. That's a very good point. And I'm not sure about y'all's national park or state park laws. Here, the federal government is very, very strict about performing investigations or research in national parks, depending on the state. So, I can see how the entire, British Columbia, they're like, we're not forking out money or resources for this.
Yeah, because this guy wants them to, I mean, come on. Weird. Mm-hmm. Todd standing. Maybe a little fraudulent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows, man? Yeah, and the thing is, maybe he's legit. Maybe everything he's been seeing is true and all that sort of thing. But in some ways, he comes across as being unlikable to me. And I mean, to other people, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Like you could have the best evidence or the best scientific discovery of the world.
Yeah, but if you're some kind of asshole, that's the end of that. That's like, whatever. Nobody cares, right? So.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some other stuff on the CreepGeeks podcast. And you know what that is?
What?
Rant stuff, and we have some New Mexico news.
No, we have mostly funny news.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. So we're going to take a second, take a break, answer some comments, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Sure.
I'm going to do this one. What do you think about this one? Bam. That's nice. Nice. Yeah. Sure. Let's do it. There's this little thing.
Audible?
Just speak.
Audible is an entertainment. Audible is an audio entertainment that entertains, educates, and inspires. For you, the listeners of the Cheap Geek podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/cheapgeek. Again, that's audibletrial.com/cheapgeek for your free audiobook.
Very nice. He's like looking at me like I'm doing something.
Because I couldn't hear anything.
You have this knob right here that you can control.
Yeah, but
that's all on you.
Even still,
All right, there you go.
I didn't hear
And
myself
we're back.
until the end. So,
Well, I will say that we're having chicken Alfredo for dinner, and it smells delicious.
mm-hmm.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. You do it then. You're not going to do that to me, because I'll just turn it off. Guess who's there you go. I'm taking away your podcasting controls. No controls for you. That's right. What? Okay, I thought you were trying to strike me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, so getting back to the podcast, and I will say that we kind of talked about the chicken Alfredo a second ago. It does smell delicious. I'm very excited by that.
Yeah.
You should tell everybody you made some bread earlier. It was super tasty as well.
I did. We're having homemade bread,
Yeah.
chicken Alfredo,
Yeah.
and I have to come up with a vegetable. So, whatever's in the
We don't
freezer.
need no vegetables.
Anyways.
Noodles.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, you're like, why do we even care what they're trying to eat? Because somebody brought this up before. It's been brought up a couple different times that, what was it called?
Oh.
I can't think what it's called, where people, they eat a lot of food. Okay, here's a suggestion. Corn. Eat the corn. Let me see. What's for dinner tonight, or did we already go over this? No,
Mukbang.
I'm telling you.
Mukbang videos.
That's what it is. Mukbang.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Oh my
A
gosh.
little mukbang.
People pay this woman $9,000 a month to watch her eat. Click here. Wow. I'm going to click here. No, I'm not.
Do it. Click it.
Oh,
Mukbang. Very good.
Oh, no.
Gross.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we may do that one day.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, you're so creative. So,
What do you do?
corn. He's like,
Corn. You can't go wrong with corn, man. Corn's pretty super tasty.
Oh, no.
And speaking of corn, yeah, little Asian banjos. So, our last podcast, if you tuned in, it was really long for some reason. It was much longer. What is this?
We lost internet.
How did we lose internet?
I don't know.
No way.
Yep.
Chat disconnected. Come on.